And Today Sport Live, 3 to 4 p.m. And also on the weekends, 1 to 6 p.m. Only on your premium sports radio. Today, 95.1 FM. I wanna take you away.
Sunshine or rain, through every terrain.
Everywhere I turn, it's football, football. There's your fairy tale.
So why not join in the action, intrigues, excitement, and fun?
Just doesn't get better than this.
Many stars have continued to shine with every ace, every race, every break, and every other sports there is.
Incredible stuff.
On Today's Sports Live, reaching you from your premium news, talk and sports radio station, Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt.
That sounds like so much fun.
Weekdays after the news at 3. It's interactive, it's engaging, and don't forget, your voice is priority.
Hangs it up for Ronaldo. Oh, my God.
Experience the glorious goals rush. The heated verbal jabs and even moments of madness. Experience the sensational swings, strokes and shots. The moments of victory and despair. Experience lights out on a majestic night in Singapore and a whole lot more.
On your premium talk news and sports radio station.
Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Listen to Sports Attack every weekday from 7:30 a.m. and Today Sports Live after the news update at 3 p.m. Stay tuned on Saturdays and Sundays for a bumper edition of Today Sports Live from 1 to 6 p.m. Experience sports in its entirety on your premium talk news and sports radio station. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
My name is Gianni Infantino, FIFA president. For the best of sports, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Radio has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
You know, there are a few areas that define a man, like sports.
I think we can live with that.
My name is Gianni Infantino, FIFA president. For the best of sports, always listen to Today Sports Live on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
A very good afternoon and welcome to today's Sport Live, reach you live from Today 95.1 FM, right here in the Garden City of Port Harcourt. And of course, it's Sunday, 21st day of the month of July 2019. Time to talk sports this Sunday, and of course, every other sport all on the mix this afternoon. Boxing, basketball, not forgetting the other news that are making the rounds right there before we tell you about football. We're having a lot of football this afternoon. My name is Emmanuel Chibuzo. I am the top striker, and of course, I'm being joined in the studio by Dorcas Koki. Dorcas, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon to you, Top Striker. It's always fun to be here to talk loads of other sports today. So stick with us, and good afternoon to you all listening out there.
And of course, the program is highly interactive this afternoon. I'll tell you about Nigeria's home-based D Tigers. They got off to a wrong start yesterday with the first FIBA Afro-CAN tournament. And of course, the D Tigers are preparing for the FIBA World Cup right there. Had a friendly game yesterday, which I'll be looking up to giving you more of that yesterday. Dominican Republic, they played yesterday. And of course, Oscar Rivers, Dillian White. You want to know how it all went. And of course, not forgetting that man Manny Pacquiao and his opponent, Keith Thurman, all doing their thing, which I will let you in, and all went on yesterday or the early hours of this morning. And of course, the program is highly interactive. For SMS and WhatsApp, you can reach us on the number 0701-9339-962. For SMS and WhatsApp is 0701-9339-962. And of course, You can equally tweet at Emmanuel9001 at Emmanuel90001. And of course, not forgetting, you can equally copy at Today FM 951 at Today FM 951. We shall be giving you all you need to know in the course of the program. We shall be opening the phone lines at some point to get your thoughts live on the show this afternoon.
Take you away.
And of course, let's start from basketball this afternoon, when home-based D Tigers started their FIBA AfroCan with an 81-69 loss to Kenya at the Palais de Sports Salamatu, Maiga, Bamako, Mali yesterday. The team arrived at Bamako a few hours before tip-off wore out at the end of the first quarter after leading the most part of the quarter 19-16. Kenya bounced back in the second half at 10-18, leading by the 3 points going to the break at 32-29. Taylor Ongwae led the way with 31 points and then assists, 4 steals to go with it. Okala Koranga added 12 points and 20 rebounds, double-double, while Eric Ruben Mutoro added 12 points for Kenya. Kenya scored 10 points and made 11 of 12 from the line while recording 20 turnovers in the game, same committed by Nigeria. The 3 players are finished on double figures for Nigeria. Ibiagu scored 13 points, 5 assists and 3 steals, while Abdul Yahya and Abdul Wahab Yakubu both scored 10 points each in the game. Nigeria tried to get back into the third quarter, 23-19, with a point deficit heading to the final quarter, 52-53. They, however, crumbled at the start of the fourth and were eventually outscored 28-17 by Kenya, who lost the opening game to the Democratic Republic of Congo on Friday. Nigeria will next play DR Congo today as they hope to get back on track at the maiden edition of the FIBA AfroCan. And of course, let me come to you, Dorcas. Obviously, you said they were doomed already to fail because they got to the venue few hours before tip-off. Obviously, after the first quarter, they were already exhausted. This is the first time this tournament is taking place in Africa, and I don't know what happened. Getting to the venue of the tournament just a few hours before your first match, I don't know what we're expecting from the guys to do.
Top striker, we keep getting these things wrong. We know this thing is going to be taking place when it took place, and then we decided to delay. I don't know what happened, why they delayed. I don't since we didn't get clear issues why they were delayed to get to the venue. We can't tell. But for goodness sake, we know we should be there before, even few hours before the tee off, and then they got the few minutes to wait. I think that's wrong. That's already shown that you're going to lose that particular game. So for me, I think it's a wrong start for the Nigerians. But looking at it, So far, I would have touted them to go out to win Kenya, but in Africa, basketball is on the rise. We know that we've seen Mali, we've seen Egypt, we've seen Algeria, not Algeria now, we've seen Guinea as well. Even Angola these days, even their young stars coming up to do the bidding for them. So for me, I don't think anybody is a fluke right now in the continent when it comes to basketball, because everybody wants to. Even Guinea-Bissau, they're coming up right now with basketball. We could see their young team in the under 16 as well. So for me, I personally do think that it was already they were already doomed to particularly fail in that one. But let's see how they're going to fare against DR Congo today. Let's see how they're going to take that up, because I feel they should have rested a lot. But let's not repeat exactly what happened in the first game against Kenya. We should be there before the tee up for that particular game, because so far, if that gets to repeat itself, I personally think that Team Nigeria is not ready for the tournament so far. Other teams want to make their name stand in Africa when it comes to basketball, but in Nigeria, if it happens again, I personally do not think they are ready for this championship. I think it's a very poor start from the Nigerians.
And of course, a very poor start for them. But of course, this is not the first time we've had the last Olympics in 2016. Nigeria got to the venue in Brazil 4 hours before our first match against Japan. We ended up winning that game 5-4. Ogenekaro Etebo winning that one and scoring 4 goals in that encounter, becoming the first player in over 50 years to score 4 goals in a single game at the Olympics. So I don't know what's happening. If the notice for the tournament came too short, but to get there a few hours and you lost to Kenya the way you did, haven't won the first quarter, perhaps the players got exhausted, fatigue set in, jet lag, and
it should be.
How do we, if you're not prepared for a tournament, you better don't go than go embarrass yourself and the players this way.
Exactly my thoughts, because I personally do think that if you're not ready for a tournament, either logistically wise, the welfare of the players as well, how they are going to stay until that tournament. If you don't have all this, please stay back. Don't go back there. Don't go to that tournament to embarrass yourself. And I personally think that, like I said before, we are not ready for these things. I keep asking myself, when are we going to be ready for such things? Other countries plan ahead of time, because immediately it came up, immediately they got to hear that it was FIBA AfroCan. Everybody wanted to participate, and I thought Nigeria also wanted to participate, so that's why they wanted to go. But because of this particular particular incident against Kenya in their first game, I personally would think that they are not ready. It shouldn't, like I said, it shouldn't repeat itself, because if it does, I personally think that they are showing the world that Nigeria is not ready for this. It's a very good opportunity when it comes to basketball in the continent, because this is going to show homegrown stars, that we also have stars in the continent, not just from whenever we have a FIBA World Championship or Afro basketball, we go out to call our players who are playing in Europe, are playing in the USA. So this, I think, is a very good opportunity for the home stars to grab this. And if this happens, for me personally, I do think Nigeria has a good chance when it comes to basketball, and we have stars, we have people that can stand up to. We have good players from Rivers Troopers. We know Rivers Troopers. We have others as well. So I personally do think that if this continues, and when it comes to basketball generally in Nigeria, it's not just ready.
Not just good right there. Of course, the African tournament is for FIBA hosted this one. Of course, the very first time players playing their trade strictly on home, and of course, or at home rather. And of course, this is not meant for players who are based abroad in the US or the Europeans, but of course, those playing their trade in their home league. And of course, the very first of its kind right there. Nigeria lost the first match to Kenya 81-69. The guys certainly were fatigued after the first set, or the first quarter, quarter rather. And of course, they won the first quarter 19-16, but of course went on to lose that game 81-69 right there.
Everybody going astray. Put your hands in mine. Let me take you
Nigeria's D Tigers, the senior team preparing for the World Cup, had a friendly game yesterday. We are trying to get the update on that. Against the Dominican Republic. It's a two-legged friendly game. They play the first leg against Nigeria, where Swampman leading in the first and second quarter. But of course, we'll wait to see what the final results right there, to see what panned out in the game against the Dominican Republic. The coach of the side, Alex Nwari, listed 15 players for that tour. And of course, some of the NBA-based players are not yet in camp. They are currently camping in the USA right there. And of course, they played a friendly game yesterday. Let's wait and see. We'll give you update on that friendly game against the Dominican Republic. Of course, ahead of the FIBA World Cup that gets on the way in August. But of course, moving on this afternoon, let's talk other matters that are making the rounds this afternoon. Straight to the world of golf, where Ireland's Shane Lowry produced one of the great major championship rounds with a sensational 8 under par 63 that sees him take a 4-shot lead into today's final round at the Open. Lowry, who called it one of the most incredible days of my life, carried 8 birdies to finish on 16 under overall at Royal Portrush. England's Tommy Fleetwood is Lowry's closest rival on 12 under after a 66. JB Holmes is third on 10 under, one ahead of Justin Rose and Brooks Koepka. World number 1 Koepka, who won this year's US PGA Championship and finished runner-up at the Masters and the US Open, finished with successive birdies on the 17th and 18th hole to keep himself in contention to win a 5th major in his last 10 appearances. But the day belonged to the 23-year-old Lowry, who started the day tied at the top of the leaderboard alongside Holmes and was in sensational form from the first hole until the last, hitting 17 of the 18 greens in regulation as he set a new course record. A partisan crowd at the Northern Irish course cheered his everybody, the noise being so raucous that Fleetwood, the playing partner Lee Westwood, who were in the group in the front, had to wait to play their tee shots on the 18th. And there were incredible scenes as Lowry walked down the last scenes usually reserved for the final day of the championship, as fans stood to applaud and cheer their man as he completed a memorable round of golf. With adverse weather forecast for Sunday, tee times have been brought forward, with the first tee time to be at about 7:30, with the leaders beginning their final round at 1:47. And of course, that should be about 17 minutes from now, right there. Of course, not forgetting that home favorite, talking about that man, Rory McIlroy, missed the cut after the first round right there. Of course, he has hoped to win this one, but nothing for him right there. Of course, JB Holmes is tied for third right there. Just who's leading the court board right there, none other but Shane Lowry. The big names are Tiger Woods, are not anywhere near the mix this time around, but of course Bruce Koepka is doing his beats right there to see what he can do. JB Holmes, of course, is third on 10 under, one ahead of Justin Rose and Bruce Koepka. Koepka is world number 1 these days, and of course, hoping to, if he wins this one, it's going to be his 5th major in the last 10 he has taken part in. But of course, he's somewhere languishing in 4th place. Lucas Bruce Koepka doing his beats, but of course, Shane Lowry, he said it's one of the most incredible days of his life. But of course, without talking about golf, for virtually every tournament, you have different winners emerging. Rory McIlroy not anywhere near the mix after round 1.
I mean, it's a very difficult time right now for the top seeds, when we know we usually do hear about in golf these days. We know the likes of Tiger Woods as well. We have the likes of Rory McIlroy, and most of the time Molinari. And in this particular Open, Molinari is 26th on the leaderboard. That's how to tell you. That's how difficult it is. Champion. Exactly. So you can see how difficult it is. So I am not quite surprised that a new name might be emerging in this particular Open. Looking at Lowry, he is topping the leaderboard right now with Fleetwood as well, in second place. So this particular Open, and let's not forget that Lowry is a player, is a golfer that can play on the bad weather. And the weather in Ireland, it's not like really, really good for golfing this morning. But he has shown himself that he could play on that such weather, and that's why I think he's leading. But let's not write any other person off, because yes, he's leading with minus 16 right now on the leaderboard. At Fleetwood is just behind with a minus 12 so far, looking at it. So let's just see how it's going to pan out. Maybe we might say it's early days for for the likes of Bruce Koepka and also Fowler and Rose as well, even Spieth to come up in this. But Spieth is actually sitting sixth on the leaderboard as well. So let's just see how they are going to fare in this particular tournament. But as for Lowry, I think that he's doing pretty well because of the weather itself. The weather is not something that even Tiger Woods would say it's not his favorite weather, but he would, if he was in the tournament and he is leading, is in the shoes of Lowry, he would say yes. He's doing his best to get it. But so far, I think this particular Open is not the Open that we say, okay, this is who is going to win, who is not going to win. We see the likes of Koepka, like I said. We see the likes of Spieth, Fowler as well. Even there are so many other names there. Ram, let's not be surprised.
John Ram.
Yes, as well. He's sitting 14th on the leaderboard. But let's see how it's going to pan out for this particular Open. But for Lowry, I think he's doing pretty well for himself.
And of course, pretty well for himself. For Bruce Koepka, trying to see if he can snitch and of course get behind them and do his thing. Bruce Koepka, in the course of the week, said he doesn't get the credit he deserves because the media does not carry him the way. Looking at the fact that he has won 4 of the last 9 majors. If he wins this one, it's going to be 5 of the last 10. In the last 4 or 5 years, nobody can boast of such records. So he says he thinks the media does not give him the kind of credit he thinks he deserves.
I personally do not think the media are not giving him the credit. But personally, I do think the media are. I just feel he isn't he isn't the person to be in the spotlight most of the time. Yes, but
in the last 1-2 years, he's been the one topping most of the majors. He's going there as a favorite,
and that is wonderful for me. But most of the time,
if he says the media does not give him the credit, he's saying it based on his recent form. No other golfer can boast of that record in the last 12 months.
I cannot speak right now for the media. I don't know why he feels he feels the media are not carrying him as much as they should. Maybe because we in recent times when Tiger Woods won his 15th major, in Augusta, the media went. I'm sorry to do crazy. The media went crazy about Tiger Woods winning his 15th major. And let's not forget Rory McIlroy. Yes, he was also one of the media's favorites. Probably because he's not doing something right. I don't know. I cannot speak up for the media right now, but I think they need to show him some love because he is someone that is here to stay. Yes, he's not as dominant as the likes of Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy and even back in the days Phil Mickelson back then. So we could say that he's not doing something right at this point. But I think the media, in one way or the other, should give him the credit because I think he's a dominant force in golf these days.
And of course, Bruce Koepka, world number 1 these days. And of course, the champion, or defending champion rather, Francesco Molinari, is somewhere 26 on the table. And of course, he said he came into this one with a hope to see if he can give his best. But of course, he was asked in the course of the week before the tournament got underway how he was preparing for this one. And he had a lot to say. And let's get to see if we can hear what he said in the course of the week, talking about his form coming into this championship, that he's doing his best, he's doing his best to see if he can retain the trophy he won last year right there at the Royal Portrush. But of course, it seems things have not been going his way so far, so good. Let's get and see if we can hear from him again this morning.
Well, it would be incredible. Obviously, I'm well aware of the challenges ahead. There's a lot of guys capable this week of winning the trophy, and all I can do obviously is do my best, try to put up a good defense and be in contention on Sunday. But it's a long week ahead, so I'll try to take it step by step. Obviously, going out first and getting to know the course better and see what we're going to face Thursday to Sunday.
But of course, he hopes to be in contention come Sunday, which happens to be today. But of course, not anywhere near the leaderboard at the moment. Let's cause he was also asked how he was feeling ahead of tee-off just before the tournament got underway.
I haven't played tournament golf for 3 weeks now, but I've been obviously prepping at home, and I'm happy with how the preparation has gone. But then obviously the ultimate test is going out there and see how you perform. But I think myself and the people around me are happy with where we are right now. So the goal is kind of peaking for those 4 tournament days.
And of course, Francesco Molinari, before this tournament, he hasn't had a competitive tournament for the past 3 weeks. He has been training at home. Could that be responsible for what we are witnessing 26th on the leaderboard just in the final day?
It could be, because I think before any tournament, athletes, professional athletes would want to warm up, have a competitive tournament before they head into, any major tournament. And this is a major, this is the Open. So yes, it's going to be very, very demanding from, the golfers. And we've seen how far it's going. And today is the final round of, the 2019 Open. And if Laurie gets to miss it, I think it's his tournament to lose, because he's leading now with minus 16. And if he could lose that one personally, so I do think that it is going to be wrong for him if he doesn't get to clinch this. For Molinari, I think yes, that might have prompted him to be on the leaderboard right now on 26th right now. So I personally do think that if he had gotten maybe warm-up games before the tournament, he would have done quite better.
Nowhere in sight for the Tiger.
Yeah, before the tournament, he felt he could do it, but he said his body seemed to not respond to what he wants right now. So I wasn't expecting him to do anything major after his major win, 15th major win in Augusta. I wasn't expecting anything else from Tiger Woods, because I feel he has given everything he had to golf, to the game. And if he doesn't come right now, I feel okay, you have done your bit, so probably you need to get some rest. I wasn't foreseeing. I foresaw this coming. I knew that he wouldn't go that far. But the surprise I got in this tournament was, Rory McIlroy. I thought he would have done much better than he did, but obviously, I'm disappointed.
People have likened golf since the persistent injuries to Tiger Woods to female tennis. The inconsistency where for 4 different majors, you're having 4 different winners. Of course, Tiger dominated the sport when he was at his peak. After he had the marital problem in 2008, different winners. We saw different people: Jason Day, Jordan Spieth, DJ, they call him Dustin Johnson. Rory McIlroy came like the heir apparent. Rory McIlroy, after a while, Jordan Spieth came in. After a while, everybody has gone into thin air, disappearing into thin air. Francesco Molinari, Sergio Garcia. So you're having different. If there is one Nasuhama, the Japanese guy. At the moment, people say, or people feel, they can liken golf to female tennis, where for different majors, they're having different winners, and some people will say half-fit Tiger is better than all the other golfers on tour. But of course, I don't know what you make about that. The inconsistency, different names popping up for every major you see in the world of golf.
We could say that, but I would like us to also think it this way. Yes, Tiger Woods was one of the best when it comes to golf when he was at his prime. But right now, why can't we just say it is as competitive as, let's just put it that way? Because I personally do feel that since Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy and the others are not willing to do the job, there are people who want to get the job. And let's not forget, Bruce Koepka has been winning it as well.
You can't do it, but why not stay? But you do it to disappear.
I personally
do
think that it is becoming competitive. Because if I win today and someone else sees how I played in this tournament and comes back the next tournament and does better than what I am doing at the moment, that is it being competitive. So I wouldn't want to say it's inconsistent. And besides, the likes of Tiger Woods, the likes of Rory McIlroy, yes, we could say probably they are getting to their prime and they might not continue the dominance that we used to see in golf. But right now, we could say because the likes of Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy, they've left, and they've not left, but they are gradually exiting the scene one way or the other. These new lads, that with the likes of Brooks Koepka, the likes of Justin Johnson, as well as that. So we could say that they are they don't have that classy nature that Tiger Woods and his likes used to have. So I would personally do say it is becoming really competitive at this age. Everybody knows how everybody plays, and I think that's why we could say it's competitive. I wouldn't just call it inconsistency in the game.
And of course, I don't know what you make about golf at the moment. And of course, Tiger Woods not anywhere near the leaderboard. Rory McIlroy said his body was not feeling too good right there. He missed the cut in the very first round right there. And of course, Shane Lowry is leading right there on 16 under. And of course, being seconded by Tommy Fleetwood on 12 under in second place. And of course, not forgetting, you also had the rest of the guys award. Number 1, Bruce Koepka, is somewhere around. And of course, JB Holmes, who was leading after the 1 and the 2, is now third on 10 under. one ahead of Justin Rose and Brooks Koepka. And of course, JB Holmes was the outright favorite after the first round of games right there at the Open, right there in Open Portrush. Keep the calls coming. Let's go to hear from you. And of course, Nigeria's home base D Tigers got up to their first tournament right there, and they lost to Kenya. They got to the venue of the tournament just hours before their first match. After the first quarter, they were already exhausted. I don't know what you make about this. The first African tournament for basketball players who are playing their trade strictly at home. They are not playing abroad. What do you make about this? This culture and this nature of always going for tournaments just the day before tournament or arriving tournament on the day of the tournament itself. How does this affect our sport going forward from here? And of course, we told you about the World of Golf, the Open Championship currently on. And of course, we told you Shane Lowry is leading all golfers up. I don't know what you make about the inconsistency in the World of Golf. We kind of overflog this issue. Keep the calls coming through 0817 0000951 and 081095100951. 0817 0000951 and 081095100951. For SMS and WhatsApp is 0701 9339 962 You can tweet at me at Emmanuel 9001 at Emmanuel 90001. Let's get to hear from you. Nigeria's home base D Tigers started their FIBA African tournament with an 81-69 loss to Kenya in Bamako, Mali. They arrived the venue of the tournament just few hours before their match. Remember in 2016 at the Olympic Games in Brazil, Nigeria arrived at the venue in Brazil 4 hours before their first match against Japan. I don't know how long will this continue in our sport, and how does this in the long run affect the growth of the sport in the country. Keep the calls coming through. Let's get to hear from you. And of course, I'm telling you about the Open Championship in Royal Portrush right there in Northern Ireland. Rory McIlroy missed the court in the opening round right there. While JB Holmes, who was the day one leader, is now third on 10 under, just one ahead of Justin Rose and Bruce Koepka, the world number one these days. The Tiger was not anywhere near the leaderboard. And of course, let's get to hear from you, your opinion about Nigeria's home-based Tigers. Of course, on their poor showing last night against Kenya, they are going to play the next game against the R Congo today. Keep the calls coming through. Let's get to hear from you. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, first I this is Lucas.
Obina, welcome to the program.
To you.
Yes, yes. So, which of the presidents is taking these people to this very World Cup? Which of the presidents?
Musa Kida.
This set now is Musa Kida, people that are going for this tournament.
Yes, Musa Kida.
Is there also any rule about government interference in this one, in case government wants to interfere?
We don't even know about that one. You know, FIBA are like, I don't know, FIBA, this thing has been on for over 2 years right now. So FIBA says until a new election is conducted, they will be relating with Musa Kida's board.
Okay, FIBA has already recognized Musa Kida's own faction.
They just said for now he'll be like their link, the person they're relating to until the new election is being done. But the man himself does not want to do another election.
Kida doesn't want to do another election.
Yes, Tijani Umar is waiting for an election, but Kida is not saying anything about the election. He said for him to do an election, people that gave him the mandate, we have to tell him to do election first. So he's not really ready for any election.
Yeah, what is the sports ministry doing about it? Because I'm not against him leading them, but telling me that he don't want to do election and he still being recognized. So if we don't do election, how come FIBA is recognizing him? They will recognize him for many years. And when will he be ready for election?
This thing has been on since 2017. This thing has been on since 2017. And FIBA sent their delegates at some point to Nigeria, and they met the former Minister of Sport, Solomon Dalong, and he said Nigeria basketball does not have any problem. Those were his words.
Solomon Dalong said so?
Yes, and they went. Okay.
Are you sure Solomon Dalong said so, or in the social media talk?
Obina, you're supposed to make pass like this.
No. You know, it's not about you.
So I wouldn't say it if I'm not sure.
Not sure.
Yes, they came with their delegates to come and make inquiry, and they first met the sports minister. He said that there's no problem in Nigerian basketball, that nothing went wrong. So they had 2 different elections in 2 different venues, 2 different days that brought 2 different presidents out.
I think Solomon Dalong was misinformed. I think
he was not misinformed. He knows what he was talking about. He's already taking side with the faction, just like he was taking side with the Amadou Pinnick and the other man's problem. The Giwa problem. It's the same thing.
No. It's not a good one. It's not a good one for Solomon Dalong. I think he needs to get his fast side. He was misinformed. It's not a good one. I'm not happy about the development at all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Obina. Right, and of course, Victoria, he joins us. Victor, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Top Striker. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to the guys listening out there. Very sunny Sunday it is, and of course the FIBA.
Would you prefer the sun or the rain?
It depends. I think right now I prefer the rain, although yesterday I was actually wishing for the sun. And right now, just look at the situation that we're in. Well, Top Striker is great to be here.
And of course, I'm talking about the FIBA Afro-Can tournament. Nigeria got to the venue just few hours before their first match. After the first quarter, they were already exhausted. They lost 81-69 to Kenya. I don't know how long this will continue. Before I get your opinion, let's go back to the phone lines. We lost that call. So what do you make about the outing?
It is pretty disappointing. The fact that, of course, the FIBA, the entire organization, the organization in charge of basketball in Nigeria, they knew that they were going to be going for this competition. Why exactly do we see this reoccurring in sports? It is really, really disappointing. And of course, now they expect those guys that went out there to get an impressive result after arriving to the venue just few hours before the match. When I got this news initially, I just kept on wondering when would we get it right? When would we eventually get it right in Nigerian sports? It is pretty disappointing, and it has been. You want to say that basketball seems to have been on a rise. We expected that yes, things are changing for basketball. It seems like yes, maybe they're starting to get it right, but all of a sudden, it's down the hill again. And right now we want to see how the athletes, the players themselves, will be able to bounce back after that defeat to Kenya. It's really disappointing, Top Striker, and we don't know how long we'll continue to see this in sports.
And of course, they keep the course coming. So let's get to hear from you your opinion about Nigeria's home-based D Tigers, who lost to Kenya 81-69 in the very first of its kind FIBA African tournament for players who played their trade on home soil alone, not for the foreign-based players. And of course, I've also talked about the Open Championship in Royal Portrush in Northern Ireland, the Rory McIlroy home tournament for him. But of course, he failed to make the cut in the very first round. And right now, we have Shane Lowry leading the scoreboard, final day of proceedings. And of course, in second place is Tommy Fleetwood. In third is JB Holmes, the man who was leading after the first 2 days. And of course, just one ahead of world number one, Bruce Koepka, and Justin Rose, world number 2 these days.
I was actually surprised, Rory McIlroy. I tipped him as a favorite to win this particular one. Of course, he's playing on home soil, and he has the crowd behind him, massively behind him. And then just seeing Brooks Koepka himself, I don't think he has had a decent tournament coming out from the US Open and what he was able to do. And then we're expecting that, he's going to build up on the progress that he made in the US Open. But here he is, not so distant. There's still a possibility of him clinching the title. But will these new guys, the guys on top, the likes of Fleetwood, would they actually let him have that kind of dominance?
It's possible. There was a championship in 2015 where, as at 12 midnight, the person who was at the top of the leaderboard, that was the final day, Sunday. I woke up at 5 a.m. He was third. Someone else had won the tournament.
It doesn't happen in Augusta.
And that was Jordan Spieth.
Exactly. It happened also in Augusta when Tiger Woods came from behind to also get to win his 15th major. So personally, I do think that anything can happen. It's golf. We know how this things. In fact, it's sport. We know how it is. Anybody can come in anybody, and that's why we lost, and that's why we're happy to be doing what we're doing. So for me, I wouldn't be surprised if Fleetwood maybe comes even Bruce Koepka, who is sitting fourth right now on the leaderboard, come up and probably get to win this one. I wouldn't be surprised because that's how it has been.
I would be surprised because the truth be told, I've been watching this for a while now. Particularly since the start of the tournament, I've been actually following, and I want to say I've not been impressed with Brooks Koepka. I really have not been impressed with him. There's just I don't want to say maybe it's because of the pressure that comes with being world number one or the hype of being world number one. I really don't know. Two of the players or two of the athletes, the golfers that I've not been impressed with has to be Bruce Koepka and Rory McIlroy. Rory McIlroy, I remember going to a discussion with someone and I kept saying that Rory McIlroy will get the job done easily. They are playing in this island, they are playing, it's his hometown, he's going to just do it easily. But then I've not been impressed.
Don't you think the pressure of playing in front of your home crowd can also make you make some errors?
No, I don't think so.
Shane Lowry is also playing in his hometown as well. He's from Ireland, so
but Rory McIlroy is a bigger brand in quotes compared to, he has more majors. He has won more majors. Like I said, when Tiger Woods started having those injuries, he came up like the heir apparent to Tiger. True. So he's a bigger name, bigger brand when it comes to achievement than Shane Lowry.
But top striker, I don't think so. I was listening to an interview with Brooks Koepka and he says that was in the US Open, and he said that it's really, really difficult playing against Tiger Woods. Why? Because the fans love him and the fans are always cheering him. If there is pressure on any other person, it has got to be on other athletes. You are playing in home soil where the fans love you. Everyone is going to be cheering for Rory McIlroy. It just seems to be a damp. If the golfers, the other golfers, if they don't have enough mental strength, it would affect them. Because all you're hearing is Rory. It dampens your morale, and so I don't think that pressure of trying to impress his people, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't even happen. I don't think
it may not be about impressing, but it could be about the pressure that they expect so much from you.
We hardly see that happen in sports. Most times when people are playing in their home soil, it's the way of, the fans are there for you and you want to give the fans something to cheer for and you eventually get the job done. We look at it in Formula 1 when Lewis Hamilton went for, we just had the British Grand Prix not so long, and you could see how ecstatic all the fans were, the crowd were cheering his name, and when he eventually won that one, he just had to win because he was doing, this is Britain, he's from Britain and he's actually in the British Grand Prix. So I don't think that is Rory McIlroy's issue at the moment. I think it's just poor performance or poor form from him.
And of course, poor performance or poor form, keep the course coming through. Let's get to hear from you. Of course, the final day of the Open Championship in Royal Portrush right there in Northern Ireland in the world of golf. And of course, we told you basketball earlier. Nigeria's home base D Tigers lost to Kenya 81-69 in the very first FIBA African tournament for players who are planning their trade on home soil. And of course, what do you make about this? Nigeria team got to the venue of the tournament few hours before their very first match, and of course after the first quarter they were fatigued and jet lagged and they made some errors. And of course don't forget, in 2016 Nigeria's dream team got to the Olympic Games venue in Brazil 4 hours before their first match against against Japan rather, and Nigeria won that game 5-4. Ogene Karuetebo scored 4 goals. What do you make about this late approach to doing things, going for tournament, arriving tournament a day before your match or a few hours before your first match? How does this affect our sport going forward? Let's get to hear from you. 0817 000951 and 0810951091. 0817 000951 and 0810951091. Of course, for SMS and WhatsApp is 0701 9339 962. 0701 9339-962 for SMS and WhatsApp. You can equally tweet at me at Emmanuel 90001 at Emmanuel 9001. You can equally copy at Today FM 951.
The harder it gets to breathe, the deeper the roots, the higher the tree must reach. So don't just talk about it, go and be about it. Scream and shout and make the haters wanna cry when they read about it.
And of course, let's talk boxing on the show this afternoon, where Manny Pacquiao said he had fun as he became the oldest welterweight champion in history by beating WBA super champion Keith Thurman in a split decision in Las Vegas. Thurman, previously undefeated, had promised to send the 40-year-old Filipino into retirement, but was knocked down in the first round before a thrilling fight went the distance. He said, "I knew it was too close," said American Thurman. He got the knockdown and so he had momentum in round 1. This was a beautiful night of boxing. The 30-year-old had been looking for a 30th straight win. 2 judges scored it 115 to 112 to Pacquiao, while the other gave it 114 to 113 to Thurman. Pacquiao, a world champion at 8 weights, was fighting for the 71st time in a stellar career that has seen 7 defeats, but with 4 of those losses coming in his past 11 fights before the meeting with Thurman. Afterwards, Pacquiao said he felt blessed and he will return to the Philippines to resume his work as a senator before deciding his next move. I think I will fight next year, he added. Thurman had a height, reach, weight, and age advantage over Pacquiao, but was chasing the fight from the beginning and started to bleed from his nose in the 5th round. He recovered in the middle of the contest, but Pacquiao stormed back to take the last few rounds. The Filipino could now face Britain's Amir Khan, though last week he denied their claims that an agreement for a bout in Saudi Arabia was already in place in November. And of course, Khan claims the fight will take place in Riyadh on the 8th of November. He said, "I wish I had a little bit more output to go toe-to-toe." Thurman told US broadcasters, "I felt like he was getting a little bit tired, but he did have experience in the ring. My conditioning, my output was just behind Manny Pacquiao. It was a great night of boxing. I would love a rematch." And of course, I want to thank the fans. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Manny Pacquiao is a great, truly great champion. He was right there of Keith Thurman. When he said he will return back to Philippines to resume his work as a senator, someone just crossed my mind. Gino Melai. I want to see him in the ring. You fight Anthony Joshua and you're going back to Abuja to the House of Rock to fight. But of course, this man is 40. He's a 62nd victory and he's had 70 feet.
And he's a senator.
He's a senator. He's still fighting at the age of 40. Thurman had everything over him, height, reach, age-wise, but of course, but experience-wise, this man still had to dig deep to put down this man. 10 years difference between the two. Age certainly is just about a number.
It is definitely just a number. To the build-up of this fight, I got interested in this fight because of the talk of Thurman. He kept on making so much noise.
See, if you cannot talk, you cannot be a boxer.
Top striker. But there are some people that... And the truth be told, I've not been following Thurman. Just once in a while I hear about him. I've never seen any of his fight from start to finish. So I said, okay, with the way this guy is talking, and I mean, I'm looking at his build, I'm looking at his muscles, I've seen how, the height difference between the both of them. And I got worried for Manny Pacquiao. I was like, okay, I think this might just be the bout that would send him into retirement. And Thurman even said it. He said, my plan is to send him into retirement. But eventually, Pacquiao showed that age is nothing but a number. Experience, you cannot buy experience in the market. Now, and that's something. The experience that he brought into from the first round, there was a knockdown in the first round. From the very first round, Pacquiao came out blazing hot. And
he said Pacquiao already had the momentum after that first round knockdown.
True, and he just kept on keeping with that tempo. The fact that the fight even got to the last round and then had to go to the judge's decision, it was a surprise for me because I felt at the point in time it was going to be a complete KO.
No. The problem is he has lost 11 times. He has lost 7 times.
7 times.
Four of those has come in his last 11 bouts. This man is a fighter, and after Joshua lost once, we are calling for his head to call it quit.
I personally do think that. See, I think in Joshua's case, I do think that people don't just like him, his style of boxing. They don't think he's a boxer. That's why I think it's like that. Because I personally do think that people want to see Joshua fall, and that was why immediately his defeat happened, that the loss he had against Andrew Jr., people took it out of proportion. I do feel every great boxer would have to suffer. We have to suffer one way or the other, and it depends on how they will react after that defeat. Depends on how they will come back after that defeat. So I think that's what we should wait to see, if Joshua can actually do that, rise up from where he is, from the ashes right now, and come back like a phoenix bird. That's what I want to see of Anthony Joshua. But now let's go back to the bout between Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman. I do think that bout was everything that we anticipated. We saw Manny Pacquiao came out blazing. In the first round, we saw Keith Thurman, his face was already swollen and was bleeding. That was how furious, the senator from Philippines came out and wanted to win that one so eagerly. He was blazing. He didn't even look like a 40-year-old man to me. Yes, we could say Keith Thurman also came back, in mid rounds and tried to give him some punches, but you could see how Manny Pacquiao came back and reacting. His footwork was fast. His body, he was giving body jabs, he was giving uppercuts, he was giving everything that particular bout. The person that I I do think that Manny Pacquiao came out and wanted to show the world that he wants every belt. This particular belt he won, but I've also set him against the WBO what's his name, Crawford right now, if they could actually meet. So I think personally he's hungry to get to a unification bout with other belt holders in the welterweight division. But let's see how it goes. But for me, I was quite impressed with what Manny Pacquiao did yesterday. Though Keith Thurman came out blazing. True. He gave about 119 punches, very hard punches to Manny Pacquiao. But you could see how Manny Pacquiao reacted. He didn't feel like someone was even punching him. He was taking, it was absorbing. I think he had a shock absorber inside of him. He came out and he didn't let that affect him. He went out right out to the point, and that was why I think Keith Thurman could not take it. So he had to succumb to to Manny Pacquiao.
I have to give credit to Thurman in this one. It wasn't like the match was completely all Manny Pacquiao. The guy fought. He fought
two judges. He scored highs on two judges' card and lost one.
True. Yeah. I mean, the guy fought well. His southpaw jab, top striker, it was something, and that was just where the brilliance of Manny Pacquiao was from. I mean, I was just looking at his footwork, the way he was finding his way. At a point in time, I think the match got so heated up in, should be round 10, round 11. They were just both exchanging jabs and body shots like it was no man's business. At that moment, Manny Pacquiao was just, giving it his all, and Thurman as well. Both boxers just wanted someone to get knocked out, and they were just giving it their all. Amazing stuff. It was really, really top-notch boxing from both teams, or from both boxers. And I saw a picture of Manny Pacquiao, his fans over there in Philippines. They were all watching the bout, gathered together in a place, watching it live, cheering for him. Amazing. I just like you stated, to see a senator. You're seeing a senator in your country fighting boxing. We need that kind. I think we need that kind of senator in Nigeria.
Immediately after that bout, there was a flight waiting for him to take him back to the Philippines, and immediately that he left. And
to continue senatorial job.
Do you know someone? Do you know someone who was sitting in that particular arena to get to see him? What is his greatest rival? And we know who his greatest rival is, the money man. We know what he was there, just seated looking at that particular fight. So let's not be surprised if one day we get to hear again, or maybe tomorrow we'll wake up and get to hear again that we're going to see a rematch of Manny Pacquiao and the money man.
Because not to forget that there are speculations that Amir Khan is actually going to be the next fight for Manny Pacquiao. But Manny Pacquiao completely ruled it off yesterday, saying that maybe he's going to fight sometime next year.
Unification bout,
but it most likely would not be Amir Khan.
And of course, most definitely would not be Amir Khan right there. Of course, still talking boxing right there. The Filipino won yesterday, but of course, elsewhere, Dylan White survived a 9th round knockdown to overcome Oscar Rivas and edge closer to a world title shot in a gripping bout at London's O2 Arena. The British heavyweight was smart early on and was close to stopping Colombia's Rivas in round 2 after a right hand. White, who is 31, has campaigned for a shot at the WBC champion Deontay Wilder, but his dreams looked set to be dashed when an uppercut floored him in the 9th. He composed himself to land a unanimous 115 to 112, 115 to 112, and 116 to 111 decision. White has been ranked as the WBC's #1 heavyweight, behind champion Wilder for more than 600 days, and many have questioned his decision to repeatedly take high-risk fights when a defeat could take his hopes of a title shot away. In a split second against the previously undefeated Rivas, such risk was made clear. Having been floored, White took another heavy shot but found the spirit to rally with his own work in the closing 20 seconds to the 9th, drawing huge roars around the arena. After the bout, he had this to say.
Boxing, a lot of things get said, not a lot happens. So let's see. Let's see. Manager could mean I could be waiting another 600 days. But let's see. One thing that a lot of people have sort of questioned is you could sit on that ranking and just wait, and the time you would think will come, but you seem to want to fight. Will you fight again in the interim if Deontay Wilder's going to fight Tyson Fury in February or March? We think we're looking to fight November, December time. I'm waiting for Eddie to, I'm going to sit down now, have a rest.
Into everybody going astray.
And of course, he was also asked about his overall performance in that encounter last night.
Yeah, of course. Like I said,
Aspie is the top guy. People forget I had 7 amateur fights, you know what I mean? This guy had the hundreds. He's been boxing for over 20 years. I've been boxing now, I think coming up to 12 years or whatever it is, you know, so the experience level is crazy. So for me to defeat these guys, just shows how much determination I have and how hard I'm working and how much I'm improving.
And of course, we saw that bout yesterday for Eddie Hearn. He said that right now they're waiting for the WBC. Perhaps Deontay Wilder somewhere around right there for him. Maybe next year, sometime next year. Quickly, let me start with you. This man is growing in leaps and bounds. He's taking his fights as they come. Gradually, he's getting better, according to him. Taking out Oscar Rivas undefeated before this bout. He has won 18 by way of knockouts, 28 bouts. And of course, yesterday, he had to bite the dust. And of course, despite the fact that there was a knockdown for Dillian White, he rose and again saw of this one. I don't know what he made about this bout yesterday.
First of all, big ups to Oscar Rivas. I mean, going
big
into
ups
this
for losing.
Top striker, everybody gave it to Dillian White that okay.
I gave it to Oscar Rivas.
I know you gave it to Oscar. I was just about to go into that. You said you are the man for the upset.
Love for the
and
upset.
you gave it to Oscar Rivas. But the fact that he was able to drag this bout to the 12th round. That's why I also gave it to Dillian White and I said, okay, he couldn't even get past the 7th round. But he was able to he extended the bout to the 12th round. Although from start to finish, it was pretty obvious that Dillian White was completely dominant. But then that uppercut that sets Dillian White, that put him down to the canvas, amazing stuff right there from Rivers. But that wasn't even enough. And I'm just trying to imagine. Look at the disparity in the scores. It was just pretty obvious. I mean, we had at least a 3 point difference in the at least. The first one was 115 to 112. I believe. I think the last one was 116 to 111 or
115 to 112, 115 to 116 to 111.
You could just see it was pretty close. It was close, but it was obvious that Dillian White was dominant from start to finish. And even with that knockdown, it still didn't get him that close. I think the reason why the score is even this close is because of that knockdown. If there was no knockdown, it would have been really, really obvious that Dillian White won. But then, Dillian White is taking it one fight at a time. And the fact that this is, how do I put this? He doesn't mind the risk. Because if he had lost that fight yesterday, it would have, do these chances of having a title bout. But then this guy is taking the risk. He's taking it one fight at a time, and he's just getting it as they come. And of course, Eddie Hearn, being who he is, let me just put it that way, would always know a way to navigate his guys through these courses. And eventually, you might just be seeing Dillian White, going for the heavyweight title just before the end of the year, or maybe early next year.
Dillian White is getting better with his fight. Docas, will he be a good contender for that belt? Should he meet Deontay Wilder?
We want to see every fight that we can see. Any fight that looks like a potential blockbuster these days when it comes to the heavyweight division. So I wouldn't be surprised, or I wouldn't, I would want Dillian White to get to meet either Tyson Fury or even Deontay Wilder. I wouldn't want to see the bout against Dillian White and Anthony Joshua just now, because I want to see what he can do against the biggest names right now in boxing in the heavyweight division. That says Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury.
Anthony Joshua is not a big name in boxing.
I said right now, because after his loss to Andrew Jr., we know what happened. But right now, the hottest shots that names want to talk about right now, it's Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. So yes, that's it. But personally, I do think that he is going to be how would I put it? A banana peel to anybody right now if he can take on Deontay Wilder. But let's not forget, Jose Mourinho is like everywhere these days. If he's not watching tennis, he's watching boxing. And yesterday he went to see Dillian White.
And of course, hello, good afternoon. Your name on location, please. Big John, a boxing expert. Welcome to the program. Let's hear from you. What's your opinion about the boxing bout? Two bouts went down last night. Let's start with the Filipino boxer talking about Manny Pacquiao last night up against Keith Thurman. Were you surprised the 40-year-old was able to knock down the 30-year-old American?
Not at all. Just like you were surprised. For me, I'm not surprised. We've seen this happen over and over again in boxing. We've seen Thurman come back at the age of 45. So people Michael Mora, 27 years old, who was at that time defending the WBA and IBF heavyweight champion of the world. But we saw John Foreman come back at the age of 45. After losing that battle, 1994 to Muhammad Ali, rumbled in the jungle, he came back 20 years after to reclaim the world heavyweight title. So I'm not surprised at all. At the age of 40, Manny Pacquiao, we all know, is a very good man as far as the welterweight position of professional boxing is concerned. Don't forget, there was a time when that man, Manny Pacquiao, and Floyd were the two ready gladiators of the national professional boxing. But he has proven to the world that as far as that welterweight position of professional boxing is concerned, it's clearly a pure Hall of Famer, not that of that concerning Manny Pacquiao. Now, concerning Dillian White, he was waited to over 600 days to have the title shot at Jim Wilder's world heavyweight title. Actually, number one contender for quite a long time. For some reason, we are not yet able to understand. It's just keeping it off having that title shot against Jim Wilder. That man is a man that is strong enough to take on Jim Wilder. You need to see that fight between Dillian White and Anthony Joshua to confirm what I'm saying. In his last fight, he finished Derek Chisora in a round 11 knockout. Believe me, when he finally gets that title shot against Jim Wilder, it will be one of the biggest heavyweight battles we're going to see.
Do you think he stands a chance against Deontay Wilder?
Yeah, that guy is tough. I mean, he's tough. It's not like every other fighter Jim Wilder has fought. You need to watch that fight between him and Anthony Joshua. Actually, sitting Anthony Joshua in the amateur days before the both of them turned professional. I believe if Dillian White is given an opportunity to fight Jim Wilder, we are going to see a fight just like Jim Wilder and Louis Ortiz. He will be one of the guys that will give Jim Wilder a run for his belt. No doubt about that.
Okay, still talking about Manny Pacquiao, for a very long time right now, Amir Khan has been calling out for him, that he wants him. Some people feel Amir Khan does not have what it takes to fight a certain Manny Pacquiao. Do you think Khan stands a chance against Pacquiao? And do you also expect a rematch between Pacquiao and Money Mayweather?
I won't be surprised if we get to see another fight between Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. There are reasons why I'm saying this. When the first fought, there was an excuse given by Manny Pacquiao, an excuse that was not taken too seriously by the New York State Athletic Commission. Okay? He said he had an injury on his left hand before going to his fight. Actually, if you have an injury in a boxing bout while training before a fight, you have a right to say it and stop the fight. Then later did when he gets through. But for some reason, he said he fought with an injury. We all know that fight was the biggest fight of the 20th century. In fact, that's the costliest fight as far as professional boxing is concerned. I won't be surprised if we get to see a rematch. The world is actually waiting to see a rematch. Concerning America, everybody sees his worship. He's not sure the very good performance of himself the way he used to some years ago. He's lost a couple of fights. I don't know the way the cookie crumbles in boxing. He might just get to stop this Manny Pacquiao. For me, I think Manny Pacquiao has nothing more to do. He has given all he can as far as the professional sport of boxing is concerned. It's a Hall of Famer. With this defeat, I think Manny Pacquiao should just retire from the professional sport of boxing and sustain his record as a Hall of Famer, a champion, and a representative in the country.
Okay, quickly before I let you go, the potential rematch between what's the name, Deontay Wilder and King Kong. Do you think? Yes. Do you think he has a chance?
Yeah, I think King Kong has a chance. And in the last fight, he actually rocked Deontay Wilder. They would have put Deontay Wilder off in the 8th round before Deontay Wilder finally got to knock him out on the 3rd round. He rocked him, but couldn't maintain that stand. I don't know what is wrong with the heavyweight boxer from this day. When the brass they were seem to have an edge, they don't continue that edge they have over you. The fact you broke somebody does not mean you won the fight. It's like they get too confident themselves after upsetting somebody. I believe that if they fight with the Wilder again for this second time, and I actually believe that the Wilder has made a mistake in accepting to fight Ortiz instead of going for title Fury. We might just see that feud and rock it this time.
Okay, thank you so much, boxing expert, Big John on the show this afternoon. Thank you for your time on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And of course, we've heard from the expert right there, Amir Khan. People feel perhaps he's just looking for the money or the hype, but he doesn't have what it takes to go into the ring with Manny Pacquiao. I don't know where you find yourself in this discussion.
I don't know what they mean
feel
by.
He has flattered to deceive. His best days, perhaps, were at the Olympics in 2012, 2008, or thereabout. Since then, nothing to show for it.
True, you can't argue with that fact. But then, I think it still stands a chance. I mean, before this, well, I'm kind of having a reconsideration because of what I saw earlier today or yesterday against Keith Thurman. But then, I mean, Manny Pacquiao is 40 years old. If Amir Khan fights him, I don't know how long it's going to take Pacquiao to recover from the intensity of the match of the early hours of this morning or yesterday. So I think Amir Khan still stands a chance. But then it's most likely not going
against Manny Pacquiao.
Striker, we shouldn't mix words. I personally do think he doesn't stand a chance. He's not an exciting boxer for anybody to want to watch. I would not want to pay my money to go watch.
Now that's the thing.
Amir Khan. I personally do think he's a fluke. He is someone that does the talking but doesn't do it pretty well on in the ring rather. And against a certain Manny Pacquiao, let's not forget in yesterday's bout against Keith Thurman, Pacquiao wasn't looking like someone who is 40 years old. He's looking like someone who is in his early 20s. And that was how fierce he was against Keith Thurman. And against Amir Khan, that would practically be the situation when we say someone dies in the ring. Because I think that's actually what is going to happen. I'm not saying really die, but, his career is actually going to be finished there. So I personally think that he should not even think about it. He should keep going for those little crumbs he gets right now. And the money as well is quite huge, the money he gets. But for me, against Manny Pacquiao, I would ask him definitely not to try that.
Amir Khan wants whether he wins or loses, he just needs that rejig. It's a gamble. Maybe he would defeat him, and who knows if he eventually defeats Manny Pacquiao, fighting Manny Pacquiao. It's like you're giving his
fist.
I mean, you're giving something back to his career because the guy still has some years in his career left, and if he defeats Manny Pacquiao, it's going to be a big one. But the reason why I don't see that happening is because apart from you want to fight this, these boxers, both their managers, they look at, okay, how much money would this fetch us? How exciting is this going to be? Does the crowd want to see this? Does the audience want to see this? Would this actually bring investors? Would it bring people to sponsor? That bout might not have all that excitement and all that would come with a normal, with a Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao that we saw. The bout between Pacquiao and Amir Khan would most likely not have it. It would most definitely not even have it. So on that premise, on that basis, I don't think it would happen. But if it's on okay, let's give it a shot. Maybe he would eventually defeat Manny Pacquiao. I think there's still a chance. Every single bout, we really cannot say nobody gave Andy Reid Jr. a chance against Anthony Joshua. So I think Andy Reid taught us a lesson in boxing, and not just in boxing, but in sports entirely. That the underdogs. Top striker, you're man for the underdogs. I'm surprised that you're not.
No, my underdog is my cancer. I've always felt he's just like a flash in the pan.
He's a movie star.
He's just like a flash in the pan. Because after his best days for me, the Olympics, he hasn't really done anything extraordinary. So I think calling out the likes of Manny Pacquiao, I feel he just wants the hype that comes with fighting with some of these guys.
True.
And then, so I don't know. I think we have another call on the phone. Ghana man, one of those people who also can stick his neck in boxing. But Ghana man, welcome to the show.
How are they going?
Going very well. How's the day going?
Well, not too good. I actually wanted to just listen for a while, but after hearing Senator Big John talk, I have to come out of the closet. I respect Big John a lot. Very enough, he was one of the foremost boxing commentators I listen to, and I respect his opinion very much. But today, I think I strongly object to his opinion about Dylan White and, of course, John Tewada.
What exactly are you opposing?
Top striker, Dylan White. You know me right from time. Dylan White, to me, has never proven himself to be a heavyweight boxer. Yes, the results have been coming his way by way of the victories he has been getting. Beating Derek Chisora, beating the man from New Zealand,
Parker,
then lately beating Oscar Rivers. But who are these people? These are people that if Big John is playing very well, he will knock them out in less than 3 rounds. I'm telling you, they are nobody compared to elite boxers in the heavyweight division. I think Dillian White has not improved, and it should be calamitous for anybody to think that Dillian White will be able to last up to 3 rounds and don't go back Deontay Wilder. It will never happen. And I kept saying this thing about Anthony Joshua until it happened. I'm also saying the same thing. Yes, he's moving, he's one step closer to fighting Deontay Wilder. Supposing Deontay Wilder gets past the King Kong himself, a second installment. But I know that will happen. And but the thing is, I am afraid for Dillian White because he might not come out of that alive. He saying that he wants to add his body bag to his resume. I am thinking probably this is why Dillian White is making himself available for that property. God for this to come to pass anyway. But I think it will be highly appropriate for Big John and any other person to think that Dillian White stands a chance, even have a chance against Deontay Wilder. It will be very, very calamitous if that bout eventually takes place. He's not even among, there's a ranking says otherwise that is WBC #1 contender. But sometimes the stats do not tell the whole story. I've watched this man very well, and I don't think he's anywhere near an elite heavyweight boxer. For Manny Pacquiao, I watched the bout and he was very impressive. He'll be 41 by December, beating an undefeated Keith Thurman who was 10 years younger. I'm also seeing Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao part 2, maybe later this year or early next year. The man was on ringside at the MGM Grand Arena last night, and I think the prospect of another mouth-watering, financially incentivized match will be something that will be appealing to him, the money man himself. So I think that bout eventually comes to light. But again, I want let Amir Khan not come anywhere near Manny Pacquiao. That will also be the end of him. I think he should look for Kell Brooks, who is in the same category with him, but going so with the Pac-Man will be disastrous for his health and of course for his career as well.
I think for the first time both of us are agreeing on something about Amir Khan. Thank you so much, Gadaman.
Thank you very much.
And of course, that was his defender, Victor Kwame Sampon, Gadaman, right there on the show, giving his thoughts about the potential battle between Deontay Wilder and Dillian White right there. Of course, Amir Khan always calling out a certain Manny Pacquiao for a match. And of course, I've always felt that this man may not stand a chance in the ring. Let's go back to the phone lines and hear what the callers have to say. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tom Striker.
Stella West.
Thank you. Shout out to Big John. Amir Khan should go and rest. He cannot fight Manny Pacquiao. He's not the kind of boxer that will fight Manny Pacquiao. Because if you watch the Pacquiao Manny Pacquiao fight, he's a pound-for-pound boxer. And he's a sharp guy, He needs to be more than experienced to beat him up, like Mayweather, So, Amir Khan should just look for another boxer, not Manny Pacquiao. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Stella West right there. He feels that Amir Khan will be no match right there for the Pac-Man himself, Manny Pacquiao, who at the age of 40 is taking down guys who are at least 10 years his youngest and junior. Of course, and the Big John is back on the phone again. I think you are in for it. We are in a serious bout this afternoon. Hello, John. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, very serious bout. Just want to make some replies to your last caller. Okay. I'm not going to start reading out how many people Dillian White has fight. Probably he doesn't know that Dillian White was the former European and British heavyweight champion of the world. Let me tell him something. There is a heavy big politics going on in that heavyweight division of professional boxing. Just like you said, the promoters know who you want to fight. They know their potential. See, there was a time when Anthony Joshua was the reigning heavyweight champion of the world, the beautiful bride of the heavyweight division. Yes, but before he became the beautiful bride of the heavyweight division, after Vladimir Klitschko lost his heavyweight title to
Tyson Fury,
he has been calling out Deontay Wilder for a fight. Deontay Wilder never fought him. When Anthony Joshua became the heavyweight champion of the world and Vladimir Klitschko called him out to a fight, he gladly accepted the fight and was able to beat Vladimir Klitschko. This is exactly how we know who these fighters are. Just the same way that he's accusing Dillian White, the same way they are accusing Deontay Wilder, that apart from his oaths, he has never fought any credible opponent. A heavyweight boxer from Rivers State who presented twice his trade in the United States, talking about Tekel, who once told me before Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz that the world will be waiting, and of course you and I know that the world was waiting to see Deontay Wilder step into the boxing ring with Anthony Joshua. Unfortunately, Anthony Joshua got the biggest upset when Andy Ruiz beat him, and we're not going to see that fight early. Believe me, Dylan White got what it takes to face Deontay Wilder in a boxing ring. And the managers know. That's why it's been put up for over 600 rings. No boxer has been put up for over 600 debates, being the number one contender for the world heavyweight title. He's practically, the Dylan White is practically begging for him to get that shot to face Deontay Wilder. And you never can tell what will happen. Believe me, if that guy, Luis Ortiz, can rock Deontay Wilder, I don't see any reason why Dylan White will rock him. Perhaps the Ghana man needs to go watch that fight between Dillian White and Anthony Joshua and some of his other fights with some other credible heavyweights. When he does, he'll probably have a change of mind. Deontay Wilder picks his opponent. Believe me, Deontay Wilder picks his opponent. The only credible person he has fought is this guy, the Cuban man, Luis Ortiz. As of American, you are very, very correct. After his Olympic days, he has not shown anything worth him being a top notch in that division of professional boxing. I believe very strongly too that if he steps into a boxing ring with Manny Pacquiao, once again, Manny Pacquiao will beat him and he will lose, and that will probably end his career.
Okay, thank you so much, Big John, on the show this afternoon, of course, and going back and forth. Let's get time to hear from the callers and get their reaction out of the Dillian White, Deontay Wilder, a potential bout right there, and of course, Ghana man, let us rest. Hello.
For Big John, I think I've taken my time to study Dylan White. I've watched his fight. And one thing I noticed, especially against the bout against Joseph Parker, the man was sleeping in the ring. That is not a fighter. A fighter does not sleep in the ring. In fact, the referee had to help him to get off his feet in the 11 and 12 rounds because he was tired. In that bout has gotten 2 extra rounds to that. That's the man who had energy. He's fasted. He didn't even receive too many power punches in those fights. Against Chitera, against Joseph Parker, and even against Ontario. Yes, I have respect for the thing is, Deontay Wilder is a beast, and even the fear factor, you will see it in the eyes of his opponent. I don't think Dillian White will stand any chance. And if that happens, I wonder how people keep saying the Joshua was calling Deontay Wilder. But we all know the story. We all know the story. It is the same Deontay Wilder who it took less than a month to agree a fight with Tyson Fury. The man taking all comers, except of course Matchroom Boxing and the Hen and Barrier decides to make the negotiations as difficult as possible so that they will keep milking from the cash cow. Remember how Golden Boy Promotions was doing for their boxer now, Sal Canelo Alvarez, up until the time that he eventually fought an aging Triple G, and we will know how disputed those results are. So I've always maintained that stance. That is how Matchroom Boxing have been dealing with Anthony Joshua. But then again, the skills went from the eye because they felt Andy Ruiz was actually the least of the opponents they lined up for him. If not, why wouldn't you go for the King Kong himself, Luis Ortiz? I told you on the show that if that fight had ever happened, Luis Ortiz would have knocked down Joshua even faster than Andy Ruiz did. But the point is they went for a man that they thought was a fast man and they were going to beat him and it cleared for the eye. I think this is a fast man that is not strong enough like Lady, Tyson Fury, and Andy Ruiz. I think this fast man, Dylan White, would be shocked with the amount of beating he will get if he eventually goes toe to toe with Johnson. I've watched the man, and I think he has nothing to offer the sport of boxing.
Okay, thank you so much. Ghana thinks that Dylan White has nothing to offer the sport of boxing, but of course he's taken as his opponents as they come one after the other. Keep the calls coming through. Let's get to hear from you. 0817 0000951 and 0810951091, 0817 0000951 and 0810951091. For SMS and WhatsApp is 0701 9339 962, 0701 9339 962. You can equally tweet at me at Emmanuel 9001 at Emmanuel 90001. Hello, good afternoon. Valentine, welcome to the program.
Good afternoon.
Thank God did not bring Big John and
Ghana man
in the video. If not, it would have been busy.
We will be 3 now. For the unanimous decision, we'll get our score. We'll count inside studio for them.
Anyway, I think I give Dylan White a chance. I think it's sport. If and the way found a way to upset the balance in the weight category, I think Dylan White maybe not the kind of boxer we want to face Deontay Wilder, but I think he has a chance. If he has worked all this way, take all this way to just get to this point. I think he deserves the chance. And on that basis, I think he might, just if I can tell, of that balance. As for Manny Pacquiao, well, man is just proving to us that you can box and make money. And also, they still can make money. I just hope that one day you can get somebody like us, that kind of type in our house. That will help us very well. And as for the Tigers that arrived 4 hours before their game, just like I have only one theory. Those guys traveled by road. George, thank you.
Thank you so much, Valentine. Right there, and of course, trying to state the obvious. And of course, talking about Nigeria's D Tigers, the junior D Tigers who got to the venue of the match in Mali just a few hours before their match. He felt perhaps they traveled by road and
to Mali.
What are you expecting? You pass through Chad. That's past Benin. You know, you have to do those Koro and the rest of them. And of course, still the program today, Sport Live. We're still taking phone calls this afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Top Striker.
Welcome to the program.
Yes, Top Striker, I stand with Ghana man on this one. Dillian White cannot stand with the wide eye. Anyhow you look at it, he cannot. And for my sister, Dorcas, he said people took when Anthony Joshua lost to
Andy Ruiz Jr.
Andy Ruiz Jr. that people blew it out of proportion. Out of proportion, that's even an understatement. Who believes that kind of upset will happen? Nobody believes that kind of upset will happen. So when you say who blew it out of proportion, you're even trying to make the effort of that guy go for nothing. That guy beat up Anthony Joshua, a world heavyweight champion. Beat him up from nowhere, so we have the right to shout from now till next year. Thank you. Don't like her. And for Klitschko, I like when they want to call that fight between Joshua and Klitschko. Let them be adding old Klitschko. Thank you.
How old was Klitschko? And imagine Pacquiao now.
If American beats Manny Pacquiao today, everyone will say
because
an old Manny Pacquiao. That why did he fight?
But nobody will remember that he's beating younger boys too.
Exactly.
And of course, I started the program today's Sports Live. Let's go straight to the world of football this afternoon. And of course, I think before then, let's go on a quick musical break right there and play something for you. And of course, before we start talking about football, all on the show this afternoon for one man's Zidane, he feels there's no future for Gareth Bale right there at the Santiago Bernabeu.
Bringing the hit, making you dance like an African. Holding a mic in my hand like a prophecy. Sitting on top, what, like I ought to be. Lock your gears with mine, let us start to connect. It's about that time, let us start to reflect. They said we'll never live, they said we'll fall and die. But through the struggles and the pain, my people will arise. And when they try to hate us, we circumnavigate. Cause I don't care what they say, my people is the greatest. They wanna hold us out, we're looking to the sky with tears flowing down our eyes. We know that.
Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Tribe Records, 2 shots. Tribe Productions, LD, the Dawn.
When I did primary fight, I get one friend. You know the 2-day class, you know just saying. You see, Emeka no book, but for class, everybody they wonder how intake they pass. One day, we get lecture where Emeka dey there. In just they concentrate, like say your mind dey there. Red na gimmicks, make we take no fear. The boy just they strategize some skills and idea. You don't see my 2 eyes, they offload your handbag. When person pass, you can't they find your school bag. They follow you, they argue. On top am, they brag. Now your own no gets label for the tag. Shut up, my friend, how you take no? If I finish with you, now your blood go they flow. Bros, I beg now, I beg no be so. In fact, when I take the bag, I don't know.
Thief my guy back, talk say him no. Thief, ole, carry am go. He say na invest time, I be no be so. Thief, ole, carry am go. When you hear bring tire, your eye come clear. Thief, ole, carry am go. Carry gun, carry knife. Only you know the fear. Thief, ole, carry am go.
See this man, yourself. See as you cack for office, you dey form oga, why your people them they hiss? Na pen you they take do magical tricks. You know they touch money, but money go they miss. Your 5 accounts they don't fool for Swiss. You they chop and you think say they no go notice. Waiting you they do bad and you know this. You say I am smart and you are a novice. Now true you talk, but na thief be your work. When you hear retire, make you no shock. Your job now retire and corporate knocks. Agbada or kaftan, aso and rocks. Now this one we they call thief with style. Chop alone and close the file. Every day empty promises go they pile. It is not my fault, my brother, but meanwhile.
Embezzle money talk say him no know. Thief, ole, carry am go. You say now your first time, I be no be so. Thief, ole, carry am go. When you hear bring tire, your eye come clear. Thief, ole, carry am go. Carry pen add digits. Only you know the fear. Thief, ole, carry am go.
Your song never come out, he done the alaba. As you sing finish, then go carry am waka. You go come plenty like clothes for yaba. You done they go platinum. My pocket is flatter. Now my own sweats and they use make dough. See, these MCs sniff my flow. Take my life savings, come carry and go. Ring tire, fuel, matches.
Oh no, I rate my CD, talk say him no know. Thief, ole, carry am go. You say now your first time, I be no be so. Thief, ole, carry am go. When you hear bring tire, your eye come clear. Thief, ole, carry am go. 10,000 copies, only you know the fear. Thief, ole, carry am go. Carry am go. Thief, ole, carry am go. Carry am go. Thief, ole, carry am go. Bring tire, carry am go. Thief, ole, carry am go. 10,000 copies, only you know the fear. Thief, ole, carry am go.
Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
And of course, welcome back to the program. Today's Sports Live, reaching you live from Today95.1 FM right in the Garden City of Port Harcourt. That was 2 shots for Den of the Tribal Records. Thief, that's the title of the song. And of course, time to talk of football. Before then, let's read some tweets coming out right there. Apostle Rinzen also said, if it was going to be easy for Rory McIlroy because he's playing on home ground, then Egypt in AFCON and Russia at the World Cup should have won respective tournament. But of course, Russia did themselves a whole lot of good. At least they got to the quarterfinals of that tournament. And of course, not forgetting, he went on to say, did anyone ever thought that a certain James Buster Douglas would knock out Iron Mike Tyson? I think Dylan White stand a chance against Deontay Wilder, who will be the favorite. All it takes is one good punch. This is coming from Apostle Arinze Nonso right there. Time to talk of football on the show this afternoon.
They said we'll never live. They said we'll fall and die. But through the struggles and the pain, my people will arise.
But of course, the Premier League says there is no doubt video assistant referees, one would love to call VAR, will cause a controversy next season, but it is prepared for it. In case you didn't hear me well, The Premier League says there is no doubt the video assistant referees, the VAR, will cause controversy next season, but it is prepared for it. VAR will be used in the English top flight for the first time in the 2019-20 season. It has been controversially used in World Cups, Champions League, and some domestic cup matches in recent seasons. Our Premier League interim chief executive, Richard Masters, says it is ready to launch it after testing. So we have spent 2 years working up to this point, and we were committed to doing it in our heads for 2 years, the Masters said. I have no doubt it will create some controversy because it is about the big decisions, but we are prepared for that. So we have been training and testing and making sure when it happens, particularly on Saturday afternoons when we have got multiple matches going on, that we have a number of VARs trained. We feel that it's done and we are ready to launch it. Premier League referees met last month to discuss their approach to using VAR. The use of VAR was criticized during this summer's Women's World Cup in France, with one complaint, the amount of stoppages and delays to the game. Master said Premier League referees would use the pitch-side video monitors to rewatch decisions more sparingly. He said, I think fans want to see those clear and obvious mistakes change and put right, he said, but they don't want to see the Premier League or English football interrupted or the pace of the game change. I think the only difference you might see is the referees using the referee review area a bit more sparingly and relying more on the VAR for the more subjective decisions. Said, but we are putting something new into the Premier League, and if it needs to be refined or improved or tweaked, or we look at it when the amount or the moment arises. And of course, we've got to let it happen first and keep an open mind about whatever it is really working. And of course, let me come to you, Victor. He said they know they're going to have mistakes, controversial issues about the VAR, but they are ready to use it. Of course, they've been making preparation for the past 2 seasons, but right now they are ready for it to be used in the Premier League.
It's a good one for the Premier League. I mean, we saw the VAR. I mean, VAR started, the tendency right out, they adopted it already. The Premier League started to hold on a little. Even the FA Cup, at a point in time, we saw VAR being used in the FA Cup. But then the Premier League said, okay, let's chill a little. And the main reason why they were doing this is trying to see how well they would avoid any error whatsoever. And it worked out. Or I feel like it's going to work out, because these guys have given a lot of time. They've structured things so well, just so to prevent the controversies, the lots and lots of controversies that we see that plaguing the VAR and its use. There is no doubt, and that's the truth. And the fact that they are coming out to say it the way it is pretty, I mean, you've got to admire it. There is no doubt there will be no controversies in using VAR in the Premier League season. No doubt about that. But I always say you have to weigh the pros and the cons. If the controversies will be lesser than the number of bad decisions that VAR will prevent, then you just have to say let VAR be adopted. But just to talk about how VAR will be used come the Premier League, I think it's a very, very good one. At a point in time in the AFCON, I think the semi-final matches, some of the semi-final matches, we saw a clear-cut penalty decision. Yes, the first semi-final match between Tunisia and Senegal, we saw this a clear-cut penalty, and it wasn't giving Senegal's way. But the VAR wasted like 3 to 4, almost 5 minutes.
We're not even seeing what the man was watching.
Exactly. Almost 5 minutes, and we were like, okay, at first he said a penalty, and then he went back to the box, and then he said no penalty, but you had already wasted 5 minutes, and it just slows down the tempo of the game. And from what they said they don't want the decisions to slow down the pace of the game, because at point in time it just takes away the excitement from the game. A very fast-paced game, and then VAR interrupts or VAR comes into play, and then it's just
but for the advocate of the VAR, they feel whether it wastes a lot of time, but as long as the decision is correct, you don't mind.
No, I disagree with that particular one. It crumbles the joy of the game. I mean, if we are seeing, sometimes we don't even, the truth be told, sometimes some of the excitement that comes with football or sports is that
spontaneity.
Yes, and then you are coming to see you take close to 10 minutes to make one decision, to now give a penalty, and eventually the person misses the penalty. It makes no sense to me. I don't agree with that particular school of thought. But then let's see how the Premier League, they've planned so well for this. I mean, since the World Cup, they've been planning on how to adopt it, and they finally decided that okay, this is the season where we're going to be adopting VAR. Let's see how well it goes. I mean, when you plan well, you expect that the results would actually show for your planning. And I want to believe that with the way the Premier League have so planned to involve the VAR into the season, the results might just be favorable for them.
Of course, because they're already prepared that they know there will be controversial issues, there will be errors or mistakes from the VAR. But of course, after 2 years of planning in their head, they are finally prepared to use it. But of course, mistakes and errors cannot be totally wiped out from the game.
Exactly. Mistakes entirely cannot be wiped out when it comes to the games. We know how even before VRA came in, there were talks that some persons were saying that it would take away the spontaneity from football. But then that there will be no lots of talk. There's no lots of controversies. And then when the VRA came, we saw lots of controversies. We saw a lot of talking points. And right now, we all are actually enjoying the talking points. But concerning the fact that they are working towards time wasting, I think that's where I think they really need to work towards, because it wastes a lot of time in the game, and we get to see matches last longer than it is supposed to be played. If they could do that, if they could work towards that, I personally would enjoy it. But let's see how far the Premier League can fare with VAR in the Premier League, because I think the Premier League really are in their need of the VAR right now in the English Premier League.
And of course, let's go to the phone lines. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, South Striker.
Your name and location, please.
I'm Dan Best, calling from Port Harcourt.
Welcome to the program. Let's hear from you.
I want to talk about this VAR issue. The idea that VAR will now make football not interesting, I disagree with that. If a fast-paced match, there is a free kick. Free kick doesn't stop the match for minutes, for like 4-5 minutes that we are talking about. He stopped and it doesn't spoil the match.
So you think if the game is stopped for about 5 minutes because the referee is trying to take the VAR, it doesn't stop changing anything from the game?
Yeah, you see, it doesn't take anything away from the game at all, because we have.
What if the referee does that 3 times in one match?
Well, so that's a good decision. Normally, I hate bad decision. That's one thing. I keep on repeating this thing. I hate bad decision. So the fact that it's a good decision, let's go with that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. It thinks as long as it's
the best thing that ever happened to football.
Okay.
I hate bad decisions.
Okay, I know you love the truth always. That of course, keep the calls coming. Let's get to hear from you your intent, your opinion about the VAR being used in the Premier League next season. And of course, the referee chief said they knew there were going to be controversial issues. There are going to be errors made, but of course, they are ready and are prepared to use the VAR. Of course, keep the calls coming through. Let's get your opinion about the use of the VAR in the English Premier League next season. We saw it in the World Cup last year in Russia. We saw it at the Female Women's World Cup. So many controversies and so many calls. So people felt undone by the decision of the VAR. What do you make about the VAR coming to English football next season? Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Top Striker.
Obina.
Yes, like the other caller said, even if VAR will take 10 minutes and the ref get the right decision. Let me take you back to the FA Cup game against Swansea and Manchester City. Did you see that daytime robbery? Even if they wanted to stop that match for the Swansea fans, you do it and take the decision next day. Swansea fans, they would have agreed. So for me, you don't tell me that, because what is the passion when you obviously commit a glaring blunder? I don't think you can tell me that if this match is at 49 minutes and an incident happens, they want to check the VIP, they can pause the time, go check it, come back and start for 49 minutes. Don't say you. But telling that, because what is the passion when everybody sees an error like the goal Chelsea scored against Watford now or
Cardiff,
yes, like that type. What is the fun about? What is the passion, killing the passion that Victor is saying, that it will slow the pace of the game and keep passion? For Cardiff fans, it's no passion. If they want to take 10 minutes, get the right decision, come and start the game, so be it. Irrespective of who's club is, even if it's Man U or anybody, let them get the right decision. The time does not matter at all. You cannot tell me that you don't want to throw passion of the game. Meanwhile, you have committed a very big game like the one we saw in the Champions League final against Tottenham. No, it doesn't work that way. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Because I wanted to react to something.
Yes, I personally do think that the VAR it's not a major problem. VAR is not the problem you're facing. It's the decisions that the referee have got to make. That is where we get to see the errors. VAR comes, gives you options, and it's the referee's choice to say, okay, it is going to take it as a penalty or not, and that's where the controversies are from. VAR is just a computerized machine that is there to give you, show you replays of how it happens slowly and from different angles, but it's a referee decision to say yes or no, and that's where the controversies are coming from.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Your name and location, please.
This is Maxim from Port Harcourt.
Welcome to the program. Let's hear from you.
And also, there's something I want to say. Sometimes everyone has his own opinion. There's some analysis are not just worth it. You and I know, from striker, that football is a capital intensive game. Have you know so?
Yeah.
It is a capital intensive game. And one referee, one man who call him man a referee will be at the center of the game and then destroy millions of dollars that are just invested. Just go to one man decision. And just how these people are also human beings. These referees also have internal sentiments inside of them. You cannot take that one away from them. The referees have internal sentiments. So those guys may also be supporting a team. So the JM is there to make a perfect decision. If it's right, let it take 1 hour. As far as I'm concerned. Provided the right decision is made, it is okay.
Okay.
And then one thing I also want to make about is that even this rule as well, let the rule also be a perfect one. If they are making a rule, let it be a rule. Now this new rule they are saying that as long as football touches your hand, it's a penalty. Why is it that they're not bringing another one inside again that somebody's hand is moving away from the ball and that is not a penalty? Look at the final AFCON match between Algeria and Senegal. That's Algeria did. What's the penalty? The fact that whether his hand is moving away or not, it touches his hand. And it's a penalty.
Okay.
So I'm trying to call it that the person hand is moving away from the ball. It's not an issue. If it's not that it's not inside a team, it's a penalty touching the person hand. Let it be a penalty. Whether it's moving away or not, it's a penalty. It's a penalty. Don't be calling a rule and then be putting a more technical inside and making the game so the doll and on the person. That's my only contribution.
Okay, thank you so much right there.
Well, top striker, first of all, talking about that AFCON final, it actually wasn't a penalty because the rule says that if your hand leaves the original position of your body, then it's a penalty. And in that situation, it didn't leave. But top striker, still talking about this VAR issue, let me make reference to the African Cup of Nations that just finished. Again, that match between Senegal and Tunisia. Look at how long it took the referee to make a decision, top striker, and he still made the wrong decision. What was the reason for that eventually? So we wasted 4 minutes and he still came and he made the wrong decision. So it makes no sense to me.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Top Striker.
Valentine, welcome to the program.
Top Striker. Premier League chief said that the free swam are going to consult with those at the box now and then make subjective decision. Hope I'm correct.
Yeah.
Good. There is one Mike Dean, one of the oldest Premier League referees. I'm very, very interested to see how the man will make right, subjective decisions. See, this season there, some people copy. For pocket, they will get down. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much right there, Valentine, from about this afternoon. Keep the calls coming through. Let's get to hear from you this afternoon. And of course, let's talk club-friendly matches played yesterday and earlier today. And of course, Bayern Munich beat Real Madrid 3-1 in the International Champions Cup match in Houston on Saturday. Both sides gave debuts to high-profile acquisitions in a game that featured appearances from 41 different players. Real, who started with a full-strength side that included a debut for Chelsea former attacking midfielder Eden Hazard, went 1-0 down after just a quarter of an hour. David Alaba caught the ball back from the left, and although Corentin Tolisso's first shot was saved off the line, he hammered the rebound into the roof of the net to put the Germans 1-0 ahead. Real, though, had the better of the first half with only Manuel Neuer's presence and Karim Benzema's profligacy preventing them from drawing equal in a relaxed but end-to-end match. Bayern made 5 changes at the start of the second half, and Real made 11 with Ferland, Mendy and Rodrigo for Real, and defenders Lucas Hernandez and Benjamin Pavard for Bayern among the big name off-season arrivals making their debut. Real's young and speedy forwards started the second period on top, but instead it was 2 of Bayern substitutes who helped seal the result. And of course, first, Robert Lewandowski head of his marker and turned midway through the second half and fired a low shot home from 12 meters out. And then Serge Gnabry took advantage of sloppy defending to score from a similar position. 2 minutes later, Rodrigo got a consolation goal from a free kick. With 6 minutes to go after the most controversial moment of the match, the Brazilian teenager went down as he ran through on goal, and the referee showed Bayern substitute goalkeeper Steven Ulreich a red card, even though replays showed there was no contact. And of course, meanwhile, Real Madrid forward Gareth Bale is very close to leaving the Spanish club, says boss Zinedine Zidane. The West international, who is 30, was left out of Real Madrid's 3-1 preseason defeat by Bayern Munich in Texas, Houston. And of course, speaking after the game, Zidane said, "We hope he leaves soon. It will be the best for everyone. We are working on his transfer to a new team. I have nothing personal against him, but there comes a time things have to change." Let's hear from Zidane and his comment about Gareth Bale this afternoon.
He wasn't called up because I believe the club is arranging his exit, and that's why he didn't play. We'll see in a few days what will happen. That's why he didn't play. I'm not going to talk about this. We'll see what happens. If it is tomorrow, that's for the best. For all of us, I hope it is imminent, and for him also. The club is talking about where he can go play, and that's where we are. It's nothing personal. It's not personal. There comes a time where these things happen, and it's what needs to be done. I have nothing against Gareth Bale. I make the decision, and we need a change. We'll see what is going to happen. It's not personal. You all know the situation, and it's going to happen. I'm not sure if it's in the next 24 hours or 48 hours. The situation is going to change, and it's good for everybody. I am the manager, and I talked with the club, and we have to make decisions. His departure is the club's decision, and the player who knows the situation will see how we're going to arrange this.
Real Madrid boss Zidane speaking through the head of an interpreter. And of course, Bale, who has 3 years left on his Real Madrid contract, has won the Champions League 4 times since £85 million moved to Real Madrid from Tottenham in 2013, a world record deal at the time. He has been linked with Premier League sides Manchester United and Spurs, German champions Bayern Munich, and also a move to the Chinese Super League. In response to Zidane's comments, Bale's agent Jonathan Barnett told AFP Zidane is a disgrace. He shows no respect for a player that has done so much for Real Madrid. Injury problems have limited the Welshman to 79 La Liga appearances in the past 4 seasons. He played for the 2 matches for Los Blancos last time, half of those as a substitute. Bale was booed by home supporters at times last season, though his agent said in the match the player was very happy and wanted to play all his career at the Bernabeu club. And of course, Bale ended last season on the bench as Real endured their poorest domestic campaign in 20 years with 12 defeats, 68 points, and a third place finish 19 points behind champions Barcelona. They were also knocked out of the Champions League by Ajax in the last 16. They then returned to the Bernabeu in March to become the club's third coach of the season. And of course, we've heard from Zinedine Zidane. He said they are working to offload him. Why the agent of Bale said Zidane is a disgrace, that this guy has given his all, but he felt people feel Bale has not been treated well by the fans right there in Madrid.
Everybody knows this. I know it. Fans around the world knows this, that ever since Gareth Bale left Tottenham to Real Madrid, he hasn't been appreciated by Real Madrid fans. They feel that he hasn't given his all, that he didn't come with his whole heart, he didn't come to the Bernabeu with everything he's got. I personally do think that Gareth Bale has given his best to Real Madrid. I personally do not know why Zinedine Zidane doesn't really like him that much. I don't know why.
He said it's not a matter of not liking him. He actually helped him win 3 Champions League. He feel
since,
a time, as he said, there's a time that comes when you have to move on.
Ever since, even in his first stint as Real Madrid, when he came in, he didn't give Gareth Bale the chance. And we know when we as sports journalists.
But Bale was a pivotal member of that team.
He was a pivotal, but I'm saying he wasn't given the chance to get to show himself ever since he then took over as Real Madrid coach. This is his third stint now with Real Madrid, but he hasn't been second, but he hasn't given Gareth Bale the chance. I personally think he doesn't like him, in as much as
Exactly.
the problem between Torre and Pep Guardiola. It's like that. Some coaches do not like some players. We know that. Everybody knows that, because they feel, okay, this person does not fit my style of play, so I let you go. Yes, I understand that. But
yeah, not fitting to my style of play does not mean I don't like you.
what style of play does he then play that Gareth Bale does not fit in?
He's the coach of the side. He knows the players are suit his style.
I am saying for me, Zidane does not like Gareth Bale, and that's my own opinion.
Wasn't there they said it's not personal?
Because he has scored in just last season. I can't remember the match. He scored his 100th goal for Real Madrid. For a guy that gives you goals, that kind of creates balls, assists, and also scores for you, he's worth giving a chance at Real Madrid. The fans do not appreciate him. His fellow players do not appreciate him, and also the coach, that's Zidane, does not appreciate him. So personally, I do feel he's having a little problem with the coach right now.
Is there a thing of problem? Should we put sentiment aside and the coach knows that if things don't go his way, he gets the sack? If I feel yes, he has given his best. During my first stint in charge, I won the Champions League on 3 years back to back to back. No manager has done that in the history of the UEFA Champions League. It was recreated. Now I'm coming back for a second term. I just feel moving forward, I've gone past this guy. I don't need him in my plan. Should we read meaning into it?
Well, I think we should. We shouldn't rather, but then we would. That's just how it is. We shouldn't, but we would, because look at just like what Dorcas was saying, Gareth Bale, a player who gives what exactly do coaches want? You want persons who give you the goals. That should be told. You want persons who give you the goals, persons who give you the assists. What exactly is the reason to which Gareth Bale is no longer appreciated in Real Madrid? He's quick-paced. Every manager wants. I mean, so most of you see managers say,
"Well, he's not so side."
What about Karim Benzema?
What about the fact that
Karim Benzema still played yesterday?
What about the constant injuries he's been having?
Top striker.
He's injury prone, boy. He has given you over 100 goals already.
A player that is he has been. I mean, in the how many years that he has stayed in Real Madrid, he has had just 70 something appearances in La Liga.
And that's giving you
in the last 4 seasons.
Yes, in the last 4 seasons, 70 something appearances, and he
over 100 goals. He has given you.
I don't think that's the way. But then the coach has the final decision. He said he's not.
Am I smelling emotions from the two of you?
That's what I'm saying.
We shouldn't, but we would, because the way I'm trying so hard not to say, okay, maybe there's no sentiment to this, but it looks like there is.
Sentiment.
It looks like there is, and then saying, I mean, look at how many times he kept saying it's not personal in that interview. He said he said it like close to 5 times. That's how you know someone that is almost lying. No, the way he's looking like.
Now, are we also looking at the fact that just like we're talking about pressmen will ask you questions. They asked him, "Are you sure there's no personal interest in you not wanting him?" Can you also factor in the fact that they brought already Eden Hazard, the same position?
Before Hazard came in, he was still having the same issue. So what are we talking about?
When you say he's still having the same issue, you make it sound like he has been fit all season. He's not been playing. He's not been fit all season.
But he played. He was back. He came back from injury, didn't he?
When you come back from injury, do you bring him to the team immediately?
I am not asking you to put him immediately. I am not asking to put him immediately. His first try at Real Madrid, it was the same thing. But when he won back-to-back Champions League with them, he came back again, the same thing. And now he's second stint with the club, and it's still the same. Now he's like coming out to the press.
I think I can finally say now. I can take it to the bank that I can read emotions now because the truth is he's the gaffer of the side.
True.
If results don't, people are already saying that he might not even last this 3 years contract he signed. So he needs to get everything right. Looking at what I don't want to call them neighbors, his oppositions are doing at the Bernabeu, at the new camp. He has to get his best legs, his best set of players. And for him, he thinks...
And why his best players?
He thinks Gareth Bale, in the last 4 years, he has given just 79 games owing to injuries. He's not been there. And looking at that, he needs younger players to fill in that void. They've gotten Eden Hazard, that same position. He just feel it's high time we let this guy go.
Well, okay, in that case, that's the manager's decision.
I think
but what we're saying is, on what ground exactly? And I feel it's not just, it didn't just start now.
Not just the season.
Why you guys are you not guys looking at the other managers? How many number of games he had other managers as well?
I felt he played better he played.
No,
I felt he did
I
best.
think we should not be guessing
On
now.
the- I am not
Get your
guessing.
facts, get your records, how he fared under the other managers before Zidane came back.
Ever since the problem right now it's with Bale and Zidane.
No, I think I won't buy that. Why not get your records about Bale's appearances under the other managers before Zidane?
If we are
moving
making-
forward on this topic,
If we are making a case, we would say because